Hey son, today we have a Norwegian album to be revealed. But first, this is so special that sometimes we get more than just a CD for review. Look at this. These guys from Norway, or the label, I'm not sure which one, sent me a t-shirt to go with the album. And not just t-shirt, but CD, but vinyl with a, professional piece of paper. No, let's remove, with my hulkish powers, let's remove the plastic wrappings and the piece of advertisement, which basically tells you to check out other releases by the label. But here it is, and what a beautiful cover. For people who don't know what this logo says, this is Sepulcher. Sepulcher. I don't know actually which way to say. So many bands with Sepultura, Sepulchral, whatever, but this is Sepulcher. Sepulcher from Norway. Now, this band has been there only a few years, since 2013 it seems, originating. And now it's time for their second album. As you can see, pretty basic, vinyl, black. There are side, this way, side Panoptic, and obviously side, I don't know if it's gonna show you side Horror. 7 tracks in total. I'm gonna just put this aside for a bit so I can later on give it the proper packaging. Here we have a big lyric sheet with the fantastic cover art. So you can pretty much lay on your couch or whatever and eye those lyrics when you're listening to this beautiful city. Once again, really beautiful cover art. See, there are lots of miniature people and kind of a horizon divided. I am not totally sure what this album cover is exactly trying to say, but I like the cover image. I like the idea here, which I have a wake feeling all about, and I like the setup. But Panopticon, which this name might be implying, is a sort of a prison that is kind of like 360 degrees, where the central piece is a kind of a guard tower, so the guards can pretty much see to every direction whenever they feel like. So the prisoners are kind of like never safe from those eyes. And this is all related to a giant, kind of all-seeing giant from the Greek history, the stories and whatnot. I don't know if there's any similarities with the story and the name, but here it goes. Anyway, piece of history. And here is the lineup. As you can see, relatively young-looking guys, aggressive and badass, totally. Maybe looking more like black metal guys, but this ain't no black metal, despite the logo, name, whatnot. Well, there's a guy with the Doors shirt, which should give you an indication that these guys are not just, Satan-worshipping youngsters. Well, stories aside, what is the music then all about? Well, one could claim that this is kind of like an proto-death, proto-thrash combined into one. Even in a proto-black in the terms of, think early Slayer and the like. Kind of a dark, but at the same time really aggressive, in your face, kind of a beating, booting and whatnot. And creating this kind of vibe that this is actually very retro in the terms of, extreme metal. Well, there are some retro death elements, and I'm saying more like proto death elements, because this is not exactly nothing to do with traditional, brutal death metal. This is kind of a hybrid, which might, remind you of bands such as Possessed and the like. So basically, when death metal was founded, and those trashy ideas started to turn more into the death side. Well, think of earlier Sepultura, or first Cannibal Corpse, and a couple of notches towards the trashy side, like I said, early Slayer and the like. And then you have a bit of an idea what Sepulture's second album is all about. Now, these guys are clearly not copying anything or anyone one-to-one, but more like tapping into the vein of where this kind of a primordial and kind of aggressive yet somehow simple metal is, stemming from. Less than 40 minutes, this album is kind of rid of all kind of extra luggage, so to speak. There are no extra weights to slow them down. So these guys are simply giving you the kind of a proto extreme metal sense of a deal here. And in fact, they are doing it quite well. This is basically nothing original because people who have been listening to material from early 80s are very familiar with this kind of stuff. For newer generation, sure, this is different. This is nothing like 90s or typical 2010s kind of music. And as such, it's a kind of a refreshing release because these guys know how to make this kind of a oldie stuff very interesting. Now, production-wise, it's quite raw. It's very much like antithesis of this sterile kind of a production where everything's almost like plastic. This is very feral, like it was recorded live in a, like, I don't know, rehearsal room. But it's not like the sounds are weak. They're just kind of a raw and lacking kind of a refining touch, if you will. But then again, it also fits this kind of music very well. And also the vocalist, while his voice is kind of a monotone, there is not shades or colors in a metaphor. The aggressive voice, which is kind of like more like shouting, more like barking in a way, is very punkish. But like I said, with the production, it fits this kind of music very well. So while Sepulcher might not be exactly robbing the bank with this album, I think they have done nice work. And the overall feeling with, beautiful cover art and this kind of a straight in your face kind of a thrash death is very refreshing. And since this band is relatively young, like 5 years old only, I think they have lots of stuff, lots of potential they will be delivering later on. But this is anyway a good chance, good moment to jump on their boat and give this band a chance. And looking forward to see them live with this aggression and passion. They should be kicking your butt when they go on stage. So check out their samples already out, I'm sure. And well, hope you enjoyed. That's all from Rauta, signing out.